Hello, and welcome to today, which is not actually the Sabbath again, because I have found that the intent with these was to record a message on the Sabbath, to just share my Bible reading. There's a number of reasons that I haven't been doing it on the Sabbath, and one of the key ones, honestly, is I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. There's so much going on in life. There's so much going on at work. There's so much, like, my health has not been good. Um, like at the moment, it's literally just hay fever and all the things that stem from having hay fever and breathing issues. But it's exhausting. Sunday this week, I woke up I think I went to bed at a relatively reasonable time, and I woke up at, um, I think it was like 9 o'clock or something in the morning, and then I went to bed at 9 o'clock that night. Like I was awake for 12 hours, which is unlike me. Um, so I have been enjoying my rest. I've been needing my rest. So anyway, that's why I haven't been recording these on the Sabbath. Um, and I thought, hey, also because Hannah mentioned she'd been reading in the Book of Job, but why not talk about the Book of Job? Because I'm not going through anything that Job went through, but it's a stark reminder. You know what I mean? Like I struggle with my little struggles, and let me just read what I'm referring to. Now I'm going to stick to just a single verse, and that is Job chapter 1, verse 21. So, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. Ultimately, right? So, for those who don't know the story, Job was a righteous man, followed God, and Satan came. I'm massively paraphrasing here. Satan came to God and goes, hey, I bet you Job wouldn't follow you if he was not rich, and if he was not wealthy, and he was not healthy, and he didn't have a wife and a kids and all this sort of stuff. Because I bet you anything, Job would curse your name. And so God allowed. He said to Satan, he goes, you will not harm him, but go, take from him. Take all the things that you think will cause him to curse me. And long story short, Job did not. So Job lost everything. He lost his wealth. He lost he went from being a very, very wealthy man to basically living in pig's mess. He lost his family. He lost his health was no good. He had sores and stuff. And the whole way through, he says, you know what? Regardless, God is God, and I trust God. God has a plan. And it's just reading that story. Like no matter how many times I read it, it's so humbling. What Job went through and how much he still trusted God, and there was clearly nothing that was going to stop him from trusting that God had a plan that not outperformed. What's the word? That was greater than his plan, or greater than his understanding even, and he just put his full trust in God. And I feel at the moment there's a couple areas of our life where I'm really struggling. I feel like there's things that I need to be doing that I can't for various different reasons, and I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing. I feel like my hands are tied behind my back. I can't make decisions that I would like to be making, that I believe are the right decisions, but and as a result, there's some negative consequences. And I find this really a good reminder that in spite of it all, God has a plan. It's not me. It's not my decisions that will lead to God's plan being executed or not. If God wants something to happen, God will make it happen, whether he makes it happen through me or somebody else. It's disheartening still, because I strongly feel like I can hear a plan that God has for me, but I'm unable to act on it. But yeah, regardless, I'm not I'm not going to. I struggle with this too. I'm not going to get frustrated at God, because it's not. God owes me nothing. There's nothing on earth that there's no reason for God to need to give me something, need to force my hand, need to push a situation on me. Do you know what I mean? If God wills it, then God wills it. But if I want something, it doesn't matter. You know? It's the saying, you know, when man makes plans and God laughs, or whatever the saying is. I forget the saying. But ultimately what it means is God's plan is the ultimate plan. God's plan is the only plan that matters. So, you know, there's things in life that won't go to our plan, and that's zero reason to turn on God, to trust him less, to rely on him less. Do you know? It's yeah, there's anyway, I hope this is coming across the way that I want it to. Or better yet, I hope this is you know, what God wants the message to come across as. That is, you know, again, no matter what happens in life, in this world, God is in control. God's plan is sovereign. And there's nothing ever that will happen to you in life that should give you valid reason to trust God less. That's not saying life won't be difficult. You know, read the story of Job. He lost everything. He went from, like, it's not just, he went from being wealthy to being okay. He went from being wealthy to being destitute. Like, he lost everything. His health was put into ruins. But he still trusted God, and he still praised God, you know? Naked I came, naked I'll depart. The Lord gave, the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised, is how he wraps that up. He's like, you know what? This is the stark reality of life. We come in with nothing, we leave with nothing. God's in control. May God be praised. Simple. So I've got to try and practically remember that in my life. Is like, you know, I'm frustrated at situations, but God may God's name be praised, you know, at all times. The reality is God gives, God takes away. God owes me nothing. May the name of the Lord be praised in all things and in all situations and in all scenarios. So, yeah, hope that was valuable. Highly recommend. I spent one night, I read the entire book of Job. It's not overly long. Yeah, and it's just wild. And the people around him, anyway. People around him. Yeah. Book of Job, go read it. May the name of the Lord be praised in all things, despite all things, because of all things. Yeah, just may God be praised. All right, talk soon. Bye.